I'm Beverly, and I'm on the witness stand.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I have been trying to get this little read roundup out to you guys, but technical difficulties have prevented that. And I don't think it's boomer difficulties, but maybe. I want to talk really quick about Karen Reed, the finishing up, and just to say this has got to be done. It's got to be over. I'm ready to move on. If you've been following me, you know I'm also on the Diddy trial. And, make sure you go over and you watch that. I've got a new video coming out today. Let's talk real quick. The verdict's been read. The gavel's been struck. And we apparently have a guilty verdict for Karen Reed on just the OUI, which is what we call a DUI, driving under the influence, or a BUI, boating under the influence. But there they call it operating under the influence, which probably covers everything. But that's what they found her, which carries a maximum sentence for a first-time offense as 1 year probation and probably some community service, but 1 year probation. If it's anything like here, you can be on probation for a little bit and then they can petition it to court to dismiss it. She could be done and over with and nothing flat. I have watched several interviews from jurors, and they are saying they just couldn't get past reasonable doubt. One juror even said that if you can't find her guilty 100%, then you have to vote not guilty. Well, that's not reasonable doubt. Did they not understand their charge? Did they not understand the concept of reasonable doubt? Reasonable doubt is just what would a normal person say? Would a normal person say, yeah, she's guilty? But reasonable doubt does not equate with 100% guilt. If you understand the complete concept of reasonable doubt, does that now mean that she should have been found guilty of a charge? I don't know. And it doesn't really matter, does it? Because they can't bring it back. Which, one of the other things they were talking about in some of the interviews, that they just couldn't get past the lack of damage to the tail light. So I've been thinking about that a little bit. And is it possible to hit somebody and not cause a lot of damage to your car? I don't know. I mean, you have to factor in the speed, but I don't know. I kind of think you could get hit by a car, like backing up or whatever. And especially if you're drunk, then you could be off balance. So maybe, I don't know. No one really, I mean, how do you factor in the fact that he's drunk? But anyway, it's, like I said, it's a moot point now. Jurors expressed sympathy to the O'Keefe family, but I'm pretty sure that that is of no consequence to the O'Keefe family. The O'Keefe family friend and longtime friend of John, his name is John too, but I can't remember his last name. He was interviewed by Vinny Vinny from Court TV. And he came in hot and strong, I'm telling you. But Vinny calmed down and apologized to Vinny for the way he came off. But he was so mad because he had just finished watching an interview with a juror, and I think it was with Vinny, where he said that Vinny had bias, and he was just so upset. And I understand completely, give him some grace. But he talked about how the family was very upset, that they thought that the prosecution had put on a great case, and was very furious with the jury, and claimed that the social media presence had really done that case in. I mean, how do you know? How do you test for that? I don't know, but I certainly say it's a theory, and then which brings me back to, will there be any other investigation opened? I don't think so, because the only other possibility would be that one that the defense raised about the cover up, the Canton police officers and Boston police officers in the Albert home. I could see where the dog bites, which I do believe they were dog bites and dog scratches, but I believe that that could have happened after the fact, that if he was out on the lawn, they could have let Chloe, the German Shepherd, out, and Chloe went, gnawed on him, bit him, scratched him, whatever, and then came back in the house. But that doesn't mean that there was a cover up, and that doesn't mean that there wasn't a dog that was involved. I don't think that the dog killed him, because I think if the dog had killed him, there'd be a whole lot more damage. If you are familiar with dog bites and dog killings, that's not a dog killing. I'm telling you right now. So anyway, but that's the only other option or alternative that's been. I don't see the prosecution coming back now and saying that there was a conspiracy, when their whole case was that there was no conspiracy. So what did they do? If it wasn't the conspiracy or the cover up, the people in the Albert household, and it wasn't Karen, who was it? Who now do you say it was? I don't think you do say it was. I think that the answer lies there. I believe personally that she, whether by accident or any other means, I don't believe that she set out to kill him. I believe that it was an accident. She was mad. I think I could go with manslaughter, but needless to say, I don't think she intentionally did anything, but I do believe that there was reasonable doubt, at least in this case, this jury. I don't believe they understood what reasonable doubt is, but it sure isn't 100%. It is what it is now. So I think you're looking at, nobody's ever going to be able to be held accountable for John's death. I really don't. And now we're left leaving the family alone. And I think we should leave the family alone, because they need to heal. I don't know that they'll ever heal, but maybe they'll learn to live with it. The devastation that has been wrought on that family with the 3 deaths, horrific losses that those children have faced, that they can go on, not go on without lasting damage, but that they can find a life of purpose, and find a day where they can smile. And is there justice for John? No. I mean, flat out no. But going back to Karen, what is she going to do? Is she going to be able to find a job? There's a very good possibility that some of her supporters will offer her jobs, but she worked in finance before. Will she be able to get a job in finance? I don't know. I don't know. She sure can't run and hide, that's for sure. Her face is known all across the world, and her reputation, there's a lot of people that believe she's guilty. Can she stay in that town, or the town that her parents lived in? I just don't know. And then there's the cost. I know that the podcaster Turtle Boy, I don't even know him by any other name but Turtle Boy, raised or helped raise over $1 million for her defense. That's definitely not going to be enough. There's rumors of a book that's going to come out, and there's rumors that she signed over rights to the proceeds of that book, or perhaps partial, to pay for the attorneys. If so, that'll easily pay for the attorneys, because people are going to want to know inside information, which I'm sure that there will be. Gone past the interview that she did for her documentary, that probably helped pay for the first child, but now she's got to pay for the second one. So I believe that it'll get paid for, but it's a lot of money, and I don't know how long she can go without, an income coming in, because surely she wants to have an independent life from her parents and living off her parents, which I'm sure she's doing. I don't know. Is this over except for the books? I think so. She may do another interview. I think she's done an interview with Turtle Boy. So wasn't she kind of obligated to that, though? So I believe that you'll have the book and it will be very successful, because true crime enthusiasts are going to want to know. I believe that that book will come out and be very successful, and I think that that's how she'll get everything paid off. I think that she is a very smart woman, very talented. All I can say is rest in peace, John. And for the O'Keefe family, my heart goes out to you, and I hope you can find some sort of peace. Until then, you may step off the witness stand for the final time in the Karen Read saga.
I'm Beverly, and I'm on the witness stand.